So we are on Yaakov goes running off, and then Yaakov gets to Choron, and he goes running off. Yesterday we spoke about the ladder, and then Yaakov goes running. We're on page 146. All right, we got a lot to do, gentlemen. Yaakov goes running off, and on page 146, he's armed with Hashem's promise, and then we see that after Hashem promises him, on page 146, Pasuk Chaf, Hashem has promised, I'm going to bring you back, and you're going to come back in one piece, and I'm going to give you your offspring and all good things. Then on page 146, Pasuk Chaf, it says, Vayidar Yaakov Dedele, right in the middle of the page, last two lines. Vayidar Yaakov Dedele, more Yaakov makes a vow. If God will be with me, Ushmarani Baderech Hazeh Asher Anochi Olech, and He'll guard me on the way. V'nasan li lechem lechol begelu, which give me bread to eat, and what do you call it? Bread and clothing. V'shavti v'sholom el beis avi, and I will return home in peace. V'ayah Hashem li lekim, Hashem will be my God. So the Gemara asks, I understand, Yaakov says, if Hashem will be with me, and if Hashem will bring me back in peace, Hashem just promised them, I will be with you, and I'll bring you back in peace. So the Gemara says, why is Yaakov wondering, will it happen? The answer, the Gemara says, Shema Yigro Machet. Maybe the sin will cause that you lose that promise. In other words, Hashem promises, I'll protect you. But, it's like, I have an expression which is one of my pet peeves. Unconditional love. There's got to be unconditional love. There's like a parent have to have, there's got to be unconditional love. A wife has to have unconditional love for her husband, unconditional love. I say to the husband, yeah, there's unconditional love if he beats her up. So then it's not unconditional. There's always going to be a condition. There's always a condition in life. Yeah, if all else is equal, you don't beat me up, you don't abuse me, then I'll be a faithful wife. But what's unconditional love? Unconditional love means we got no recourse. So Yaakov Vidas Hashem says, yeah, I'm making you a promise. And what if Yaakov turns into a bandit? Then the promise is void. Yaakov is saying, Shema Yigro Machet, I hope I don't mess up. In other words, I'd rather have a promise in advance. The promise is that if you're good, then I'm going to watch you. That's better than no promise at all. Then otherwise there can be a concern. Even if I'm good, it won't happen. Yaakov says, if you're good, it's going to happen. But what if you do something wrong? So Yaakov says, if Shema Yigro Machet is a sin, notwithstanding, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to bring me back. And Yaakov goes running off. Now, take a look. Vayeitzei Yaakov Raglov. Yaakov picks up his feet. He goes to the land of the east. And the commentator, 3 lines from the bottom. 3 lines from the bottom on 146. Vayeitzei Yaakov Raglov, he picks up his feet and he goes to the land. So the commentators, the Baalei Musar, have a great time with this pasuk. Vayeitzei Yaakov is Raglov, he picks up his feet. You have other people whose feet pick them up. Sometimes people just end up in places where they don't even know how I ended up there. What happened? How did you end up in this place? I don't know. I was just kind of wandering around. We had a guy here years ago. It was a group of guys completely secular. And it was right before the 17th of Tammuz. So I went around the room and I asked the guys said they planned on fasting. And they never fasted before the 17th of Tammuz. So the next day, one of the guys, I said to him, Mark, did you fast? He says, no, I'm not into fasting. I say, Tom, I said, Mike, did you fast? He says, yeah, I fast. I heart sing every day. I said, Tom, did you fast? He goes, well, I really planned on fasting, but I was walking downtown, I passed a falafel shop, and then something happened. Right? That was the way he put it. I remember the way he said, something happened. Yeah, sure, you walk past a falafel shop, something's going to happen. You're planning on fasting, your feet took you there. Right? We don't let our feet take us, we take our feet. Right? We drag our feet don't drag us. So Yaakov goes off to the land of the east. There's a well. There are 3 flocks. Ki min ha'be'er yishku adorim. They would drink, they would water the flocks from that well. Ve'even gedol al pi ha'be'er. There's a big stone on the well. So the Torah says the shepherds all gather there to roll the well off, and they're all standing around, and it's the middle of the day. And then the Pasuk Daled, 4 lines from the top. Vayomer lem Yaakov, achai me'ayin atem. Where are you from? Vayomer mechoron anochnu. We're from Choron. Vayomer lem hayadatem es Lavan ben Nachor. Do you know Lavan? Vayomer yadano. We know him. Oh yeah, we know him. Yeah, we know Lavan. Yeah, some people are, yeah, we know him. Yeah, we know him. We know him. Right? Smirk. Vayomer lam hashalom lo. Is he well? Vayomer shalom. Shalom. V'nei Rachel bito bayim atzon. Here comes Rachel, his daughter, with the flock. Vayomer heino dayom gadol. 1 second. It's midday. Lo eisei asef mikdei. You guys are paid shepherds. What are you bringing in the flock for at midday? Hashku atzon. Go water the sheep. Ulchuru. Go out and graze. Why are you all sitting around over here? Hey, stop and think. New man in town. New man in town. First thing he does, he meets the people. What does he do? Gives them some musar. What's the musar about? The honesty. Hey guys, you're paid watchmen. And who is this man? What did he just do? Why is he running away? He himself was just involved in a deception. Right? Can you understand what chutzpah that would take? If he was truly did something wrong, there's no bigger chutzpah in life. I just deceived my blind father, go stealing a bracha, running off. Hey guys, a little honesty. You guys are paid watchmen. Why are you gathering in the flock already? Which means that Yaakov knows that he didn't do anything wrong, otherwise he wouldn't be able to give them musar. So Yaakov immediately starts giving, hey, you're doing something wrong. Yaakov's a man of truth. You see something's wrong, you got to say something. Again, we keep it in proper perspective. Don't become Joe Fix-It in shul, telling everybody what they're doing wrong. We're not. We've mentioned that many times. Let somebody else be the guy who points out that somebody's tefillin are crooked or somebody's doing something and talking in shul. Don't. That's not our job. But in theory, if you're really the man of truth, that means you live a life of truth. Then you could start pointing out the flaws in other people. Hey, you guys you're being dishonest here. Vayomru, so they said to them the following: Lo nucha, we can't water the flock. Arasher yasu kol ha'adorim. We need all the shepherds here. The golulu hasevet mal pi haber, v'yishkinu atzon. Now, what does that tell you? If there's a stone on the well and everybody has to take the stone, they're covering the well with a massive stone which requires everybody to take it off. What does that tell you?
It's a big stone.
What's that? It's heavy. Yeah, why are they putting a heavy stone on the well?
So it takes all of them.
Why do they want to take all of them?
So no one will hog it.
So no one will, you call no one will hog it, right? Meaning they don't trust each other, right? These are all the people from Lavan's town, right? I don't trust, you know what? We'll all do this together. And remember, water in a well, it wasn't a limitless supply, and there were halachas about taking water from wells. You know, when we're all here, we'll all take off the stone. They know each other, right? They know each other. Odenu midaber imam. He's still speaking with them. V'Rachel ba'im atzona shelavia kiroi. Rachel came along with the flock. Vayikasher Yaakov es Rachel bas Lovan achi imo. He's been on the run for 14 years, gentlemen. Remember, he was in Yeshiva 14. The first time he sees a relative in 14 years. He sees Rachel, the daughter of Lavan, his mother's brother. Vest son Lavan achi imo, and the sheep of Lavan, his mother's brother. Vayigash Yaakov vayagal seven me'al abper. He goes and he rolls the stone off the well. Vayashkes son Lavan achi imo, and he waters the flock of Lavan, his mother's brother. So you got 3 times in the pasuk that it emphasizes mother's brother, right? That should jump off the page at you, right? That's his mother's brother, but from the same mother, not from another mother. There's a mother's brother, but not from another mother. It's from the same mother, right? Okay, so you got the mother's brother. So Rav Hirsch says, why is the Torah emphasizing that? The Torah is emphasizing that. Why is Yaakov here at all? Yaakov's entire goal, the only reason he comes here, is because he's under his mother's orders to do this. So his focus the entire time is on his mother and his mother's brother. That means that the focus is he's doing this because he was commanded to do it. And therefore the Torah emphasizes 3 times his mother's brother. Now, I want you to see a Rashi here, because this Rashi we're going to sit on for a while. He rolls the stone off the well. Says Rashi, it's the right column, 2 lines from the bottom. If you find it, please show the person next to you. Right column, 2 lines from the bottom. Vayigash Yaakov vayogel. He goes over and he rolls it off. Says Rashi, Ki adam shemavir esapkak me'al piyat sloch. He's like a guy pulling a cork off of a flask. Pops the cork. Lo diach hashekochel gadol, to let you know how great was his strength. Wow, he's strong. He just popped it off, just like a cork off a flask. What does that tell you?
He didn't need the stronger than the other.
He's stronger than a bunch of shepherds who are out there in the field.
Not saying much.
Right? Well, the shepherds are. I had a friend in high school who said his goal in life was to be a shepherd. That was his goal. I had a friend. His goal was to be a shepherd. He said, then you get to spend all day lying in the grass, smoking grass. That was his goal. So he became an auto mechanic instead. So now he just does the same thing, but under a car. So the what do you call it? Yaakov, his strength is great. So first of all, we learn that his strength is great, meaning that why is he running away from Esav? Why are you running away from Esav? What's true strength, gentlemen? What's true strength? You know what I mean? The strength is great. Sure, he could pop a stone off the well. So what are you running away from Esav for? What's the answer? Any of you do martial arts? Any of you ever martial arts? What's the first thing they teach you in martial arts? Walk away. Walk away from the fight. We know you can break the guy in half, walk away from the fight. That's real strength. Real strength is try to avoid it. You have to, so then you beat the guy up. But if you could, you walk away from it, right? It teaches you restraint, self-control. Walk away. I knew 3 guys in Chicago who took martial arts. 2 of them were absolute wild men. And after a couple of them became black belts, became different people. Became, all right, relative to who the guy was. Relative to the guy still did, when we went to a hotel in Florida, he did a somersault, a karate somersault right in the lobby of the hotel. That was when he was already under control. So you can imagine, right? And the other guy, but I saw all three of them became very controlled people. True strength is to walk away from a fight. True strength is to walk away. That's the hardest thing in life. There are 2 paths. We've spoken about this. There's a path of truth and the path of peace. If you're a man of truth means that you stand up for your rights, and you're right for standing up for your rights. And you have the right to do so. But there's a much more difficult challenge. The path of peace means even if I'm right, I'm going to walk away for the sake of shalom. That's the hardest thing in the world. You're right. I'm right. I'm 100% right. And you still walk away from it, that's the harder path. Yaakov could take Esav. He could pop a stone off a well. And yet Yaakov runs away. That's the show of strength in life. The show of strength in life is when there's a bicker, a fight, an argument, and you're the first person not to argue back. You close your mouth. You know what the Gemara says? The Gemara says, somebody who is silent when there's a fight, which none of you will appreciate till you're married, but when you're silent when there's a fight, Tola Eretz al Belima, on the verse, God suspends the world in space. The world is kind of out there. The world's not sitting on anything. Earth is just kind of floating around. What's keeping Earth from just falling down to wherever it would fall to? Why is the Earth... Gravity, shkayach, right? Says the Gemara, it's not gravity. Gemara says it's because you didn't fight. Toler, you have the merit essentially what the Gemara is saying is, you have the merit for the existence of the entire world when you walk away from a fight. Okay? You keep your mouth shut, somebody insulted you, somebody said something to you, and you didn't answer back, nothing harder. And there are a lot of good things you can say. Your wife says something, it's not even your fault. When it's your fault, so then it's easy, I can take the blame. It's not even my fault. Somebody's blaming you for something you didn't do, and you're silent. The entire merit of the world is now on you, which tells you, if that's the merit, that tells you, remember we mentioned this idea many times. If that's the merit, that means that the job is a difficult job. You only get paid relative to your job. You only get paid. If you get a big salary, that means you're doing a difficult job. Right? And there's no greater difficulty than being quiet when you have to be quiet, number 1. Number 2, there's another idea here. I heard from Rabbi Isbi. Rabbi Isbi said like this, there's a Gemara that says, Rabbi Hanina ben Dosa is called the miracle man of the Talmud. And one Erev Shabbos, his daughter looked despondent. He said to her, what's wrong? She said, well, the oil in the menorah that they're lighting the Shabbos, instead of oil, she mixed it up with vinegar. She put in vinegar instead of oil into the candelabra for Shabbos. So Rabbi Hanina ben Dosa said, Misha Omar l'shemen v'yadlik, the one who told oil to burn, he'll tell the chometz, he'll tell the vinegar to burn. So she said, just light the vinegar. So she lit the vinegar, and the vinegar burned till Motzei Shabbos, and then on Motzei Shabbos they made Havdalah on the vinegar that was still burning. Okay, that's what he says. It's a Gemara in Tainus. Okay, now what's the Gemara telling you? If somebody would ask you, why does oil burn? What would you say? Why does oil burn? Yes. Why does oil burn? Then you do all sorts of fancy words like combustibility and chemical, right? All sorts of stuff. There's only one reason oil burns. Why does oil burn? Because Hashem said so. There you go. Invoke the Hashem word, right? Hashem said to oil to burn. That's why oil burns, right? So what did Rabbi Hanina ben Dosa say? He said, well, the same God that told oil to burn, he could tell the vinegar to burn. And the vinegar burned. Yeah, that means that his level of belief was such that let's put it this way: if at any point on Shabbos when the vinegar was burning, if Rabbi Chanina Badosa would have walked past it, he would have said, "Hey, Zawi, the vinegar is really burning." Right? Then it would never burn to begin with. That means he's not amazed. 99%. He's 100% convinced that it's exactly the same thing. That's his level of faith. Then the vinegar could burn. What's the difference to you? It's the same God. What's the difference? God's the one who decided. When you could move your finger. Somebody asked me the other day, what's the definition of a miracle? When you think of a miracle, first thing that comes to mind, Joan, what do you think of a miracle? What's the first miracle you think of? Go ahead. Anything. Yamsuf, Kriyas Yamsuf, the splitting of the sea. That's the first miracle anybody thinks of. Why? Well, if you look at the Torah's description of the Yamsuf is really a physical description. The wind blew all night, the sea split. That's why all the skeptics could come along and say, sure, it could happen. Sure, it could happen. Right at the moment when 600,000 people need it, and Moshe Rabbeinu points, that's when the wind's blowing and it happens. When's the last time it happened? When's the next time it happens? It could happen anytime. Let's see you go walking into the sea. Right? And say, well, it could happen. It could happen. Famous last words. It could happen. Help! Now somebody throw me a life preserver. Right? Say it happened right at the moment that they needed it. That's a miracle. That's a miracle. But it's also a miracle because we think of something supernatural as a miracle. This is a miracle. We just don't appreciate it because it happens every day. It's a miracle. That's a miracle. You can move your finger, it's a miracle. Every time a person does anything is a miracle. Does it make a difference to you if you're at the right level of belief, whether you can move your finger and see splits? It makes no difference. The same God. Anything can happen. The same God. Comes along Yaakov Avinu. And Yaakov Avinu's level of belief is such. Rashi says, he knocked the stone off the well like a guy popping a cork. You know what that means? That means his level of belief was such that to him it doesn't make the fact that I could knock a cork off that I could pop a cork is only because God gave me the ability to do it. Without God, I can't take a cork off a flask either. So if you could take the cork off the flask, it's only because there's a God. It's the same exact God. What's the difference if it's a stone or if it's a cork? So when it says, lets you know his strength was great, what strength are we talking about?
God.
We're talking about his strength of faith. His strength of faith in God was so strong that it makes absolutely no difference if it's a stone or if it's a rock. And therefore Yaakov Avinu was afraid. Again, you can ask, well, if that's the case, so why is he afraid? Why is he running away from Esav and so on and so forth? But the bottom line is that there's a lesson is for us, not for Yaakov Avinu. The lesson is for us what faith really is. Faith means that it makes absolutely no difference. God could deal the cards tomorrow differently than today. The same person who's poor today could tomorrow he could turn into a millionaire, and a millionaire could certainly turn into a pauper. It's the same God, same exact God. Okay, that's the Musar for today. Now let's see what happens. So Yaakov goes over, and now one of the most misunderstood psukim in the Torah. Vayishak Yaakov l'Rachel. Yaakov kisses Rachel. Vayisa es kol vayef, and then he starts crying. So he kisses Rachel because he sees he kisses Rachel, and he starts crying because he sees that Rashi says because he sees that she's destined to become that she's going to be buried. Where does it say that? Vayef, because he saw in Ruach HaKodesh that she's not going to be buried with him, so he cries. But he kissed her, and everybody said, he kissed her. Oh yeah, he kissed her. And the Gemara says there are three types of kisses. There's a kiss of I think sadness. There's a kiss of when you see somebody that you haven't seen in a long time. The Gemara talks about three types of kisses, and there's Yaakov. It's the first family member he's seen in 14 years. So the Hasidim say, there's a Hasidim where he kissed her and then he cried because he knew that in the future people are going to say things like that. That's why he kissed her and he cried because he knew people are going to misunderstand it. That's not the plain meaning of the pasuk. But a little kid, this is very interesting, a little kid once said, you know why he kissed her? You know why he kissed her? Because he saw, if you see a Sefer Torah passing, don't you kiss it? He saw such holiness, he kissed it. Be careful here too. yeah, I'm going downtown. I'm going to look for some holiness. Yeah. I got to be really, really careful here. Got to be really careful here. Bottom line is we're talking about Yaakov Avinu. Talk about Yaakov Avinu, and it's obviously not something that none of the commentators criticize him for it, and so on and so forth. Obviously, he's allowed to do it. Now, Yaakov then introduces himself, and then at the bottom, 3 lines from the bottom, Rachel goes and she tells her father. 3 lines from the bottom. Vayiki Shema Lavan es Shema Yaakov ben Achoso. When he hears it's Yaakov, his sister's son. Vayoratz likraso. He goes running towards him. Why is he running towards Yaakov? Why is he so excited to see Yaakov? Sure, the last time somebody came to town was Eliezer. He had lots of gold with him, lots of goods. So he goes running out, and you'll notice he hears his name of Yaakov, his sister's son. That also excites him. Because here comes the frummy. Here comes it from me. I'm going to take advantage of this guy. Oh, make my day. Love on the sneak. He knows his sister. His sister was a family goody-goody. And she's got a son. So this is probably some yeshiva bacher, turtle in a shell. Right? We're going to take advantage of this guy. Vayichabek lo, he hugs him, looking, he's touching him to see, okay, he doesn't see any camels loaded down. Maybe he's got some, maybe he's got some stuff in his pockets, maybe he's got some checks or something, a credit card, something. Vayinashek lo, he kisses him, touches the cheeks over. Let's see, maybe he's got some gems hidden in his cheeks. Vayavio basically brings him to the house. Vaysaper Lavan is called Dvarmeli. Yaakov tells Lavan the entire story, and that's why he's empty-handed, because he had to run away in a hurry. So Lavan says, okay, you'll stay with me, and now watch how this plays out. And I want to tell you something. This Lavan is good. He's really good. He's really good at what he does. Right? He's the con man. But if any of you are ever going to go into deception, conniving, anything illegal as a parnasa, which by the way could be a very good parnasa. If you're ever going to go that route, study Lavan well. Right? He's really good at what he does. Vayomer lo Lavan. Lavan says, "Achatzmi was sorry. You have to listen. You're my flesh and blood. You're my flesh and blood. We're family." Vayeshev imo chodesh yamim. So he said Yaakov's with him for a month. Vayomer Lavan leYaakov, Hachiochi atov v'nevadei chanam. Are you my brother? And you're going to just work for free? Hagida li ma maskurtecha. Tell me what your price is. You're going to work here. You're going to work here for nothing. So the commentaries say, sure. Lavan's projecting himself on Yaakov. Right? What would Lavan do if Lavan came to somebody's house? Lavan was there. He'd be working for a month for free. And Lavan says, sure, I'd work for free. And then I'd send the guy a bill. And I say, yeah, Lavan's saying to Yaakov, hey, listen, you're working here and you're not charging me anything. Come on, let's get out in the open because I know this is eventually going to happen. So let's talk. Right? And Yaakov has no intent. Yaakov's not even thinking in those terms. But Lavan, because he's a Lavan, he projects on Yaakov exactly what he would be doing if he were in his position. Ulu Lavan shtei banos, he got two daughters. Shema Gedol Leah, Shema Ketana Rachel, ve'ene Leah Rakos. Leah's eyes were soft. Rashi says her eyes were something with her eyes because she cried so much, so they were unattractive. Other Mefarshim say no. Rakos means she had beautiful eyes. Leah had beautiful eyes. Rachel Leisa Yefas Torah Yefas Mar, and Rachel had gorgeous form. Vayev Yaakov it's Rachel. Yaakov loved Rachel. He saw that she was his destined soulmate. Vayomer evodcha sheva shanim berachel bitcha ktana. Now this is an expression that's been used in the vernacular. I will serve you 7 years for Rachel. Well, Lavan might have, Yaakov knows that he might have more than one Rachel daughter or girl hanging around. Bitcha, your daughter, and make sure that there's no confusion. Haktana, the younger daughter, right? And we say in Hebrew, when you want to tell something to somebody very clearly, I say, I'm going to be very frank with you, very clear, and I want no misunderstanding. Say, tell him, Rachel bitcha aktana. That's the expression. And still what happens? And he still gets deceived. After being as clear as he could possibly be, and Lavan's going to pull a deception. Okay, now watch. So Lavan says, okay, I'll let you have her. And then take a look at Pasuk Chaf. Vayavod Yaakov berachel, one of the most puzzling concepts we're going to find in the Torah. Vayavod Yaakov berachel sheva shanim. Yaakov worked 7 years. Vayiu be'enav ki yamim achodim. It seemed to him like just a few days be'ahavasa osa, because of his love for her. Gentlemen, with 2 hours left to Yom Kippur, and you can't wait to eat, so those 2 hours just pass like 5 minutes, right? No, not quite, huh? Longest 2 hours of your life. Right, those 2 hours are like 2 weeks. Right, those last 2 hours of Yom Kippur. Right, you can't wait. You're going to the amusement park. When you're a little kid, you can't wait. The next day you're going to the amusement park, and the night just flies by. Right? No, it doesn't work that way. To the contrary, when there's something that you want, the time gap seems longer, not shorter. Yet Yaakov loves Rachel. I mean, can you imagine a woman? You love a girl, her money anyway, and you can't wait to marry her. And you got 2 months till the wedding. You think those the 2 months seem interminable? Then go take like a week. It's interminable. Yeah, Yaakov worked 7 years, and the 7 years seemed like a few days. How do you explain it? I'll give you a hint. There are 3 explanations for it. 3 possible answers. When you have final exams, you got 3 hours till finals. And oh my goodness, I got to get all those crib sheets made up in 3 hours. You know, it's going to take me a while. How am I going to, you know, and also you're running short on time because you're running for an exam. So you call it reviewing what he was learning in yeshiva. Other commentators say, no, Yaakov is getting prepared. He's getting himself spiritually prepared to bring about the tribes of the Jewish people. He needs 7 years of intense preparation now in order to bring them out. Like you call it studying for an exam, number one. Number two, Rachel herself was raised by a Lavan. This is going to be the mother of the Jewish people. She's had a role model of corruption her entire life. He needs to give her a study me now for 7 years so you'll know what it is, what the role is going to be. Number two. Number three, it's a bargain price for a Rachel. A bargain. 7 years and you get a Rachel? Oh, that's nothing. That's a good thing. That's a good vort to tell your wife when you meet her, you know, on the shidduch. You say, oh, for you, you know, a diamond ring for you, that's nothing compared to what you're worth. Right? That's what you say before you're married anyway. Yeah. So Yaakov says, oh, for a Rachel, 7 years for a Rachel, that's a bargain. And a Jew loves a bargain, right? He's our forefather, right? A Jew loves a bargain. That's a cheap price. For a Rachel, that's a cheap price. Joe, I'll get you 1 second. So then Yaakov says like this, V'yomer Yaakov Lavan, Hava esishi kimol yamai v'voyla. Let me have my wife. V'yesov Lavan es kol anshe amoko v'yasmish. They makes a banquet. Vayehiba erev in the evening. Vayikach es Leah bito. Vayevayelav. He brings in Leah. Vayovay Leah. He cohabits with Leah. They knocked out all the lights. It's pitch black, and he marries Leah. Vayiten la Lavan is Zilpa shivchaso. He gives Leah as a gift Zilpa. This seems to have been part of the deal that she's going to go along with it. She doesn't tell you who she is. Leleah bito shivcha. And then Vayehiba boker. He turns in the morning. V'hinei Leah. All of a sudden, hey, this woman is Leah. Vayomer Lavan. Now pay attention carefully, gentlemen. Vayomer Lavan. Mazos asisali. What'd you do? Halo berachal avadati mach v'lamri misani. I worked for Rachel. Why did you cheat me? Vayomer Lavan. Lavan says to Yaakov, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. Lo yasa kain bim komenu. We don't do this. Lo se satzir lifnei bechira. I don't allow, I forgot, we have a minhag here. We don't allow the younger one to go before the older one. And what does Yaakov respond? Nothing. He just says, Lavan say, Malay shavua zos, and ilcha gam ezo b'avodah. Till another week and I'll let you marry Rachel too. So imagine you're in Yaakov's place. You made a clear condition, Rachel b'traktana, you get married, and Lavan agrees to it, and then you find out it wasn't Rachel, it was Leah. And they say, hey, what did you do? He said, oh, by the way, we have a cousin, we don't let the younger one go before the older one. Now, if you were Yaakov, what would you say? What would you do at that point? You just be quiet? Yeah, wring the guy's neck. I said, well, you know, you could have told me that 7 years ago, buddy. You obviously, not a word, not a word. Why not? Why not? So listen to how good Lavan is. Oh, the Beis Levi says, you know what Lavan was really saying to Yaakov? Yaakov says, hey, why'd you switch? So Lavan says to him, in our place, we don't let the younger ones go before the older ones. Maybe where you come from, younger ones could sneak things from older ones, right? We, in our place, don't do that. You understand how that blocks them off at the pass? What's Yaakov going to say? Yeah, but I had a good reason to. Yes, I had a good reason to. And nothing like giving somebody the argument where you just block. You took every possible defense away from it. I told you the guy's good. The guy's really good. Oh, in our place, in our place, I don't know what happens by you guys, right? In our place, younger ones don't go ahead of older ones, right? And there's a medrash that says that Yaakov said to Leah when he woke up the next morning, he says, hey, what did you do? You know, last night I was saying Rachel, and you said, yeah, it's Rachel. Now it turns out it's Leah. So Leah said to him, is there any Rebbe who doesn't have a disciple? Right? Your father also said, as a say something, you said, yeah. Right? In other words, listen, everybody's got their, but we had to do it too. We had our mitzvahs also. Okay, now here you have an incredible occurrence, because where's Rachel in the picture?
No.
Where's Rachel? So the Gemara says that Rachel saw that Leah's going to be taken. Now you're talking about a wedding over here. It's Rachel's wedding. And all of a sudden at the last minute, Lavan's pulling a switch. And he says, okay, quick, Leah, come here. Rachel and Yaakov had arranged some sort. They were nervous that that he's going to try. They made a secret code. And on the night of the wedding, in the dark, she would give the code, and he'd know that it's her. He was already anticipating this. And then when Rachel saw Leah's being taken in, and she doesn't know the code, Rachel realized, listen, Yaakov's going to say something. She's not going to know the code. She's going to be embarrassed in public, because then Yaakov's going to come out and say, hey, and it's all going to look bad. She's going to stand there like the kala under the chuppah without a husband, and I can't allow my sister to go through that shame. So she goes and she gives Leah the code. Now, the question becomes, she gives it, do you realize, now, what's Rachel giving up? She's giving up her husband. She's giving up her life in this world, possibly. She doesn't know she's going to marry Yaakov. She only knows I'm give up my husband to my sister, and she's possibly giving up her portion of the world to come. She doesn't know where she's going to end up. This way, you can be married to the tzaddik and live a life with the tzaddik. She doesn't know what's going to happen. For all she knows, she's going to end up with Esav. And now she gives it all up for what reason? That her sister should not be embarrassed. So the Gemara says, as a reward for Rachel's being discreet, she was rewarded with a descendant who was discreet, which was who? Shaul HaMelech. King Saul, when he was anointed king, and they asked him, his uncle said to him when he went to the prophet Shmuel anoints him as the king, and when he came home, his uncle said, well, anything new? What happened on your trip? And he didn't say a word about being anointed king of the Jewish people. Why? Imagine you go to Washington, D.C., you're standing outside the gates of the White House, the Secret Service comes in and say, hey, Max, by the way, you're the next president. Right? Yeah, look at that, with kosher food. Right? Then you come home and your uncle says, hey, Max, anything new? Oh, yeah, Joe Embiid had 46 points. You know, and they say a word, about becoming president of the United States. They don't say a word about, right? Where do you get that ability to restrain? The ability of restraint comes from Rachel, who didn't blow the whistle on Leah. And then Shaul has a descendant who also has an ability to restrain. Who is that? Who's Shaul's descendant who also has the ability to not talk? Mordechai and Esther. Esther is taken into the palace, and she's under intense pressure, and she won't tell anybody that she's Jewish, and that ends up becoming the redemption for the Jewish people. That means the redemption for the Jewish people all begins in an act thousands of years earlier when Rachel Imenu won't give the what? Yes, the Gemara says that Lavan, what he did was, Lavan said to the people, look, Yaakov has come here, and since Yaakov has come here, we've all prospered. The tzaddik comes, and everybody attributed the prosperity to Yaakov. Now, we got to keep him around for 7 years. He was here 7 years, let's keep him around another. I have an idea, let's pull a sneak. So everybody said, yeah, that's good. Lavan says, yeah, but how do I know none of you are going to rat on me? How do I know that none of you are going to rat on me? You know what? We'll make a banquet. Everybody give me a deposit. Let me have your watch, Max. Let me have your watch. All watches here. Now you guys are invited to the banquet. If nobody says anything, then you get your watches back. So Lavan takes the watches, and he goes and he buys, he pays for the banquet with all the deposits the people gave him. All right. So at the party, the people started singing Hilaya, right? Hilaya, which means in Hebrew, she is Leah. In other words, they're giving Yaakov a little bit of a hint. It's not clear to me from the Medrash why they're doing it. Why you're going to blow the cover. They're all saying Hilaya, right? Apparently, it's so that when afterwards Yaakov comes and says, hey, why didn't you tell me what was going on? We did. We were saying Hilaya. It's not my fault. You didn't. You know, so the way of protecting themselves in case Yaakov comes back with claim. Why didn't anybody tell me? What happened? I'm a nice guy. Why didn't anybody mention it? We all did. We're all saying Hilaya. We're not. That's what the Medrash says. I don't know why exactly they would do it. That's the only thing I could think of why they would go and do something that could possibly blow the cover. Yeah, there are sources that said that Rachel was in the room with them and it was her voice. There are sources that say she was underneath the bed with them while they were, and when he would speak to Leah, Rachel was answering. I mean, you can imagine the torture for Rachel over here. Number 2. And number 3, the commentary talk about Yaakov at his level of holiness. It was a very, very, it was just very, very quick. And only afterwards does he find out that it's Leah in a pitch dark room. So that's, you're going into already an area where however it was that it happened. That's the given. What you're saying is very interesting, that maybe Yaakov himself didn't want to blow the cover on it. We need a source to say that. There is no Medrash that said. The Medrash says it was Rachel who saved him, and not Yaakov. It's a very interesting idea, though.